Good morning, everybody. It is April 4th, Tuesday, 2023. No, wait, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, April 5th, 2023. Oh, my goodness. 12:07 at night. Or in the morning, depending on how you say it. Okay. This is part 19 of chapter 1, Daniel Steals the Cottage. We're doing it at a friend's house in Napa, she said through her tears. It sounds awful. Are you having a big wedding? He was truly stunned. He had never expected this. No, just us and his daughters and the couple whose house we're getting married at. If it were any bigger, I'd have invited you, Coop. She hadn't had time to plan a wedding. She was too busy taking care of him, and Ted didn't want to wait any longer. He knew if he did, she'd never leave Coop. She felt responsible for him. When did you decide all this? About a week ago. Ted had come down for the weekend and put a lot of pressure on her, and their decision coincided perfectly with Abe's decision to fire everyone. In a way, she knew she was doing Coop a favor. He couldn't afford her either, but she knew it was still going to be hard for both of them to say goodbye to each other. She couldn't imagine leaving him, and it broke her heart to do it. He was so innocent and so helpless, in his own imitatable way. And she had spoiled him over the past 22 years. She constantly worried about him and mothered him. She knew she would lie awake nights in San Francisco fretting about him. It would be a tremendous adjustment for both of them. Taking care of Coop had replaced the children she'd never had and finally stopped wanting years before. He still looked shell-shocked when she left the house, and before she did, she answered the phone. It was Pamela, his latest romance. She was 22 years old, young even by his standards. She was a model and aspiring to be an actress. He had met her at a shoot he had done for GQ. They had hired half a dozen models to stand beside him adoringly, and she had been the best looking of the lot. He'd only been dating her for about a month, and she was totally infatuated with him. Although he was old enough to be her grandfather, but he didn't look it, fortunately. He was taking Pamela to the Ivy for dinner, and Liz reminded him to pick her up at 7:30. He gave her a big hug before she left and reminded her to come back to him if she hated being married, and secretly he hoped she would. Coop felt as though he were losing his younger sister and best friend. That's all for part 19, chapter 1, The Cottage. Thank you for watching.